What's up, YouTubers? Today we're going to talk about the ZT0990. This is a recent release from Zero Tolerance, and I got to tell you, Jim McNair, I know it's a team effort, but go ahead and pat yourself on the back. I'll just say that straight away. If you don't want to sit around and gush over this knife or hear my gushing, you know, there's a few cons against this knife too, but if you don't want to hear that, you can just go ahead and move along. Go buy yourself one or get yourself on a pre-order for one. These are fantastic. This particular knife is a 3 ounce with a just short of 3.3 inch blade that I measured. And it's got 20 CV steel on this one. It comes in at a cost of $220 US, which I found after handling this thing to be very fair. It does utilize the tune detent system, which essentially provides a detent ball on the lock side here as well as on the show side, and it basically provides for very reliable, not only build up but very consistent centering and that sort of thing. This knife is perfectly centered. I did have to loosen the show side pivot just literally about maybe 1/20th of a full 360 degree turn, and it restored it from kind of a little bit tight on the return to just a very smooth, glassy return. Love that. So that's what I'll say about that. Like I said, the gushing is going to start. Let me go ahead and throw in some reference knives here. For myself, the ZT0707 was kind of my previous thin slicer ZT1, but then also I do have the full metal, full titanium with the Flightanium bug out in 20 CV steel. So again, all three of these knives are in 20 CV steel. And my complaint about the 0707 up here was that it did have a little bit longer blade than I really liked for this kind of pokey stabby. And the bug out was just a little bit better size. So for me, I like that. I'll be bringing back the 0707 for reference a little bit, but those might be some alternatives you might want to consider buying. Let's jump right into the pros and the cons of this knife. On the pros side, I think it's a very beautiful knife. It just has everything that's artistically nice. Definitely will, turn some heads a little bit. Very useful. Ergonomically, it's very comfortable. It fits 4 medium-large fingers, not a problem. And you really have kind of 2 grips there. One is with your this backside jimping on the blade back here, and that one provides good use, but you can also kind of move your thumb over that one a little bit if you need to cut into something a little bit like that. You could actually go even into a little bit of slicing mode if you needed to with the finger, because it's got a nice little rounding there. So did appreciate that. The hole in the, by the way, the hole in the blade here seems to be for weight relief and design more than anything. You can't really deploy the knife from there. It just doesn't work. So this is definitely a flipper knife. The floating bridge is kind of a cool feature. I just find that very nice. Again, this is not a titanium knife. This is basically stainless steel, but they were able to keep that weight in a very nice range of 3 ounces for 3.25, 3.3 inch blade. So that's a very good thing about that. I did appreciate that. Also, they didn't over billboard this thing on the blade side. You're going to see, or on the blade here, you're going to see there's a little bit. It shows a little logo saying it's in-house design. You have your usual stuff, but the ZT logo is actually on the back side here. We'll see if that shows up. But you can see it just kind of inscribed in the backspacer there. So kind of really appreciated that. Just one of those little thoughtful things that lets you know it's still a ZT, zero tolerance, but not in your face kind of zero tolerance. The carbon fiber mixed in with the stainless steel is a great combination. I really like that. They don't have to worry about the lock bar insert because it is already stainless steel in terms of your liner there. And again, very comfortable on this knife. And pretty. So it slices well. It's got 0.1, kind of in between 0.1 and 0.12 steel. And that blade stock actually is the same that I measured on the 0707, which is extremely thin and slicey. But I'll show you here. You can see the 0707, the one I'm shaking here on the right, is the same thickness of blade stock, but you'll notice at the tip that it's a little bit thinner. This one, the 0990 is definitely a little bit beefier at the stock or at the tip, and they're able to do that by basically utilizing a taller blade. So they still get that nice, decent high grind, not full to the top, but a pretty high grind and about as much grind space as the other one. And so with the same blade stock, you're going to get that same slicing capability, but a little bit stronger tip strength if you need to utilize that, and or if you drop it. So in that sense, that's a great thing too. like I said, the artistic qualities, I think, are on par with the limited edition 0999. You know, they just had some more artistic features in there, but they're able to basically capture that essence, and I really did love that. On the downside, I would say, for me, the one thing just in one day of use is that I would say this is a very pokey flipper, and it's also very prominent. It does seem to be a little bit smaller than the original 0999. So in your pocket, it's definitely going to catch on some things. It's actually nice and softened up, but it ends up making for a very tall knife right down here at the base of it. You know, versus, again, let's bring that back, that reference knife. If you're kind of looking at it in your pocket, the 0707 is going to be much shorter. And so it's just not going to basically gobble up as much space as you're reaching in, you know, reaching your hand in there, even though they have about equally prominent flippers. So, you know, from that, I'd say that's maybe kind of one of the negatives, but I don't see how you get around that, especially with this floating bridge backstop pin there. Don't really see that too much. Other than that, I'd say that the clip, maybe, I don't know. Actually, it's a useful clip. 2 screws, I like that. The 0707 does not necessarily have a 2-screw clip in there, and also it's fully reversible to the other hand side. Really good. The access to here, to the release, very good. On the downside, I don't know what really, other than I just find that the flipper and the flipper only, maybe. Other than that, it's really good, and this is absolutely a treasure of a knife. So yeah, I can't really come up with a whole lot. I'll use it a lot more in the weeks ahead, but you know, when you handle a knife and you've handled a few hundred, you kind of get a feel and you're like, yep, this is a great one. Really do appreciate it. So hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, go ahead and like and subscribe. Have a great day for your saves now. Take care.